Throw a Super Bowl party. The Super Bowl is one of the most watched events every year. Football fans spend all season cheering their teams on in the hopes that their team will play in, and win, this single game. But even if your favorite team doesn't make it to the Super Bowl, it's still such an exciting event that you're likely to watch it anyway. In fact, you're likely to watch it with 1 or 2, or 24, of your closest friends. That's right. The Super Bowl party is just as much a tradition as the Super Bowl itself. The Super Bowl is meant to be watched with lots of people, lots of food and lots of beer. Here's what you need in order to throw an unforgettable Super Bowl bash. Friends. Fill your house with friends. Watching the Super Bowl with your buddies makes the experience infinitely better. You can cheer, jump up and down and hug, in a manly way, of course, when your team scores or makes a big play. You can shake your heads and curse your coach or quarterback together when something goes wrong. Even a little friendly rivalry can make Super Bowl Sunday more entertaining. Invite your friends who are rooting for the other team. There's nothing better than a little smack talk during the game, or at the end of the game, after your team has won. Food. Snacks are a staple at any football watching event, and especially the Super Bowl. You guests will be at your place for 4 or 5 hours, at least. Make sure to provide them with some tasty treats to munch on. Some popular choices are, giant sub sandwich. If you plan ahead, this can be great as it's a more substantial snack. Chicken wings, chips, salsa, guacamole, cheese dip, 7-layer dip, peanuts, pretzels, snack mix, veggie platter. If you plan to barbecue, don't forget the burgers, brats, buns, cheese, condiments, pickles, tomatoes and lettuce. Or if you're feeling really fancy, steaks. Ask your guests to bring their own meat for the barbecue if you don't want to provide it. Just because you're offering your house up for the party, doesn't mean you're required to buy all the food. Your friends shouldn't have a problem bringing their own meat, plus then they know they'll get exactly what they want. Drinks. Most Super Bowl parties are centered around a beer cooler or keg. Depending on how many people you're inviting and what they drink, it might make sense to order a small keg. Or, strategically place a few coolers around your living room for bottles and cans so people don't have to go too far to get beer. You can provide the beer and ask anyone who wants mixed drinks to provide their own liquor, or you can set up a full bar yourself if you're so inclined. With drinks, Like food, don't be afraid to ask your guests to pitch in and bring a 6-pack or 12-pack if you don't want to get stuck with the bill. Your friends will be happy to oblige and, most likely, you'll end up with some beer left over for the next few weeks. Don't forget that many states don't sell beer on Sundays, so you may need to plan ahead. Buy more than you expect you'll need. There's nothing worse than running dry in the middle of the third quarter. Also, provide soda and water for those who aren't drinking beer. It's important to have some non-alcoholic beverages available at the end of the party too, in case some of your friends need to sober up before hitting the road. Questionnaire. It's a lot of fun to create a Super Bowl questionnaire and hand it out before the game. Make sure your friends arrive at least a few minutes before kickoff so they have time to fill in their answers. Typically you'll include questions about the game itself, who will win, how many TDs will each team or a certain player score, who will win the coin toss, who will be ahead at halftime, etc. You should tailor the questions to the two teams that are playing. If you have a great defense, ask about interceptions and sacks. If you have a terrible quarterback, ask the same thing. Add some fun questions as well, like how many times will a certain coach start screaming and how many close-ups of the cheerleaders will there be. Add questions about the infamous Super Bowl commercials as well. How many beer ads will we see? How many Pepsi ads? How many ads with animals? You get the picture. Think about what you usually see and create some fun questions surrounding that. If you want to offer a reward, everyone can toss a few dollars into the pot and the winner can take that home, or you can get an actual prize, like a jersey or a case of beer. Otherwise, just play for fun. Remember that you'll have to print out enough copies of the questionnaire and someone will have to keep track during the game, especially if a great prize is at stake. Big screen TV. One of the most important features of the Super Bowl party is the Super Bowl itself. If you have a tiny TV, it's going to be hard for everyone to see the game. Most likely you're hosting the Super Bowl party because you have the biggest, or best, TV out of your group of friends, so this shouldn't be a problem. However, even with a big screen TV, it can be hard to have a perfect view from every angle. If you have a large living room and people will be mingling during your party, consider bringing in another TV or two and placing them in strategic locations. Even a small kitchen TV can add to the experience if it's placed appropriately. Decorations. As long as you have a decent TV, some snacks, and some beer, your friends should be happy. However, if you want to go all out, it's a good idea to get some football decorations. You can just put up the team memorabilia that you already have, or you can go out and buy paper footballs and helmets to hang from your ceiling, and Super Bowl napkins, plates, and tablecloths. Most supermarkets and stores like Target will have generic football decorations as well as decorations that represent your local team and the teams playing in the Super Bowl. There are no hard and fast rules when it comes to decorating for a Super Bowl party. Get your wife, husband, or kids involved so they feel like they're a part of the fun. Caution: don't let anyone drive home from your Super Bowl party if they've been drinking a lot. Quick tips: provide non-alcoholic beverages for your guests.